I'm Linda from Barlates Body Blitz. Today I wanted to give you some do-it-yourself at-home equipment hacks. So I'm sure you've kind of figured out some of these already because we've been in our lockdown quarantine for quite a while now. But I thought I'd give you some ideas just in case you are running out and you want to try something new. So number one, easy, a broomstick. So I don't know if you have ever done any workouts using a broomstick, twisting workouts, for example. They're fantastic for the waistline. You can do so many things. I've got some workouts on YouTube using the broomstick. You can definitely use any type. Mine is actually an extendable one, so you can twist it and make it longer, and maybe that's quite handy if you have one of these available. Next, I've got just some rags as gliding discs. So depending on what flooring you have, if you just have normal hard floors, then rags or even fluffy socks are perfect. If you have carpet, you can use paper plates or you can use plastic picnic plates, for example, or even be inventive, like use the lids of some containers or something like that. Anything that's smooth, and just try it out that it doesn't stick too much on the carpet. Next, resistance bands, one of my favorite pieces of equipment. I've got tons of workouts featuring them. You can actually use leggings. So if you use a full length pair of leggings and make sure that it's nice and stretchy, then you can definitely use that instead. You can do a lot of exercises with both of the legs together. Or if you wanted to make it slightly easier, you can bunch up the ends and you can use them with one leg in either hand. So this is a really great way of using it instead of a resistance band. Otherwise, you could even use something like a belt. A belt is obviously not going to give you any stretch, but it will kind of still simulate that pulling action. So it will probably make your workouts a lot harder if you use the belt instead of, say, a pair of leggings. Now, in terms of the little ball that we use, so I often use this little bar ball or Pilates ball, which is basically just an inflatable playground ball. So if your kids have one lying around, you can use that instead. But if you don't, you can definitely just use a rolled up towel. So I use a full length bath towel, and I've kind of figured out the best way to fold it. So this is my bath towel. I fold it in half, and then I fold it in on itself like this, and then I fold it in half again, and then I fold it into thirds. So I fold that into the middle and that over the top, and that kind of gives you a really nice bunched up surface area to squeeze. Now if you want to get even more creative with it, or it's not creative is probably not the right word, if you want to be more precise about it, you could maybe tie a piece of string around so it doesn't come apart. But with most exercises, for example, squeezing in between your inner thighs, it's actually fine to keep it like this. And I've got my postnatal series on YouTube, which uses a towel, so you can definitely do those workouts just using a towel, or even every time I use the little tiny ball, you can use this instead. Now, if you like to use ankle weights or wrist weights, another great hack is getting a sock or even some pantyhose, stockings, whatever you want to call them, and putting some sort of legume or bean in there. So you don't want to really put rocks in there because it might dig into you, and you don't really want to put sand in there because it's probably going to come through the little holes in the sock. So I find, like, I've got chickpeas in here, so you just weigh out however many grams or whatever pounds you call it over there, and you just put it in each sock and I just tied a knot in the end. And to secure it, it all depends obviously on the length of your sock, but you could simply put it on and use a big safety pin. So I've got like a nappy pin, and you can just basically put it through there and put it through the end, and try not to stab yourself, and that's it, it's on. Now, it's not the most secure thing in the world, but it will definitely work. If you want to secure it even more, I've just got a hair elastic, and you could put that kind of in the center, and that will secure it on pretty good. So I'm quite proud of this creation because from the front, it kind of even looks like one of those ankle weights that you buy. So that's one way of doing it. You can also use them around your wrists if you wanted to, for walking, or even if just for punching to increase the intensity of your cardio. And of course, hand weights. There's many different things you can use as hand weights, and obviously depends on the weight you're trying to achieve. So if you've just got some cans of soup, then maybe just use them if you want a light kind of dumbbell for my bar workouts, for example. But if you want something a little bit heavier, I found that rather than using like cans or even water bottles, you can put in there things like rice. So I've got rice in mine, or even little pebbles if you have them in the garden. Sand and wet sand would be the heaviest. So as long as you have a container that's really secure, so I've got 4 little clip lock bits on there, so I know it's not going to fall apart when I'm kind of throwing my weights around. As long as it's secure, then you can definitely use different things that may be heavier. So depending on what weight you want to go for. I've also seen people using the large water bottles, so the jugs with the handles, so you can use that as well. I don't usually go for heavy weights, so these ones are probably around about 3 kilos with the rice in and the weight of the container. I probably don't go a lot heavier than that anyway with my workouts. Sometimes I might use a bit more. So 3 kilos is probably around 6.5 pounds. So that's my little trick for you. Using something like grains or sand is heavier than even water. So try to find something that's heavy if you want heavier weights. This container isn't really particularly ideal, simply because it's a bit wide, so when I grip it, my fingers don't go all the way around. So if you have got a container or a water bottle that you can grip all the way around, it's probably better. But in case you don't, you can definitely improvise using something like a clip lock container. So having said that, I'm sure there's many other ideas out there. If you have improvised and you have come up with some amazing DIY home equipment, leave some comments below so people can read about it. Of course, the other thing I wanted to mention is bags of rice. If you are rice eaters and you like your large quantities of rice, you might be out there buying the 5 kilo, which is around 10 pounds of rice in a bag. I definitely have some of those. You could even use that almost like a sandbag. So you could hold on to it, you can do your squats, you can even do your overhead press, you can do all sorts of things with bags of rice. And the last thing I remembered as well is a backpack. If you have a backpack and you can put some books in there, you can put grains in there, you can put tins of soup in there, just be inventive, put things that are a little bit heavier in there. You can wear it on your back or you can wear it on your front, and again, do body weight exercises with it, and that will give you the extra weight. I have my Pilates ring here. That's not the equipment that I was trying to show you. I just had it there in the hope that Minnie would come and sit in the middle of it, because she usually does. But she's being a little bit tired today and antisocial, so she's on the sofa over there. So unfortunately, she's not joining us, which is a bit sad, but don't worry, she'll be in lots of my other videos. So now that I've shown you all of this different equipment, you have no excuses whatsoever, and you can still be doing lots of my workouts from home and not needing a gym and not needing all of the expensive equipment. Especially now, it's actually very difficult to buy equipment. I went to my local department store, and in the exercise section, it's literally all sold out. So I don't know what people are doing, but they're definitely using their quarantine time to get fit, and the stores can't keep up with demand. So if you're in that position, then make some equipment and keep going. If you have a look at my next video, I'm not going to put it on the end of this because some people might just want to get straight into it. Have a look at my next video, and I'm going to do a little workout demonstrating exercises you can do with each of these pieces of equipment. So hang in there. It's probably going to be over sooner rather than later, hopefully. But in the meantime, us home exercises are doing what we were doing before anyway. And I hope that you are keeping healthy, keeping fit, and I look forward to working out with you soon.